Hello there, guys. This is Aishi, and today I will talk about my coping mechanism. Basically, you don't, if you're a person who has been my friend for a long time and you know me from ages, years ago, like the teenager phase, okay, and if you're watching this, I'm a person who can turn their sadness into a joke, okay. Whenever really I'm going through very hard times and suffering, I tend to, deflect that into a joke. Like, for example, maybe I'm going through a heartbreak, or I haven't scored as much as I expected I would in exams, and that really, makes me sad, okay, because I wanted to perform better. And I would turn that around into such a funny scenario, okay, into such a funny thing. And why I do this is because, you know, doing this actually makes the situation feel like it's like not that hard, it's not that important. And it's not that you can say, like, I don't care about it, somewhat like that. And I notice this behavior happening like a lot with me, especially now, because I've been dealing with this kind of period of isolation, which I absolutely love, by the way, because I have a lot of me time, and I really love that time uh, that I spend on, learning about my worth, my values, my goals, and my vision board. Okay. So it's really amazing and interesting to create all of that and spend time, just talking to myself and God. It's really good to do all of that. And recently I have been like falling more in love with myself. And in that process, what happens is you start noticing all of the situations around you, a lot of the behaviors that you, like the person you used to act like before in the past. As in this case, it was coming out of survival mode, someone who needed to cope with something, make the situation turn more funny so that they actually don't have to accept that they are going through that pain and suffering. So in order to not accept that it's actually very hard, I used to make it, funny, so I can avoid aram se and then go on, move on with my life, as if nothing really that hard has happened, okay. So this used to be the case, but now that I'm learning how to, deal with that aspect of me and not act like I'm strong, because that was basically a mask. I was masking, okay. I didn't want to be, seen very vulnerable in front of the wrong people in my life, because in the past, when I have cried about, when I have cared too much, I have overloved a person, friendship or a relationship, whatever that was. It has only caused me to, be taken for granted and be taken advantage of in that case. So that's where I learned that I cannot, be more expressive and vulnerable, especially in the wrong room, but in the right place, where I know that person is not going to use my vulnerability and my, you can say, um, pain, suffering, and any insecurities against me. When I share it with them, that's when I truly just can be myself and not have to use any joke, any kind of, like, oh, I don't even care. Who just wants to get married? Like, I won't even marry anyone, I would marry myself, and like things like that. Like, yes, I would love to marry myself. I'm literally the dream person that I have always wanted to become and be as a kid, okay. I would care for her. I would literally pay so much respect, reverence, so much offering for this person that I have become today. Like, I'm obsessed. You don't get it. I'm obsessed with myself. Okay, but Earlier, when I was just a teenager, it wasn't the same case. And so that's the thing that I'm learning right now, that I can actually, be more vulnerable and safe, at least when I'm with myself in front of God. Okay, I don't have to act like I'm very strong or it's not affecting me, and have pretty much moved on, and acting like, it's not affecting me, because that made me hold on to that same feeling of pain and suffering more for a longer period of time than I should have already gotten over it. Okay, and that hindered a lot of different aspects of my life, especially, see, where my shit comes when it when I fail a lot is in my love and relationships. Okay, I don't really face much struggles when it comes to success, career growth, development, personal development. I don't go through so much, like one after another lessons in those areas, but I go through pretty much more lessons when it comes to my love life, and I don't know why that's just the case. Okay, that's where my shit comes. That's where I lose my shit. Just being honest. Okay, but I, unless I'm, I know I'm in front of the right person, where this person actually makes me feel safe and not using my insecurities or vulnerability against me, but still just, listening to me and understanding me, giving me that safe space to just express all that. Okay, so I don't have to suppress that feeling of pain by using a joke, like I have already moved on. Who even cares? It's not like who cares. Okay, we all give a shit. Let's be real. We all give a shit when something truly matters to us, whether it be a person, a relationship, a situationship. If we are truly wanting that thing, if we truly want that thing, okay, we give a shit about it. And if we are obsessed with that, we are in love with that, obviously it matters. And acting like it doesn't matter, actually, it doesn't solve the problem. It pushes you away from it, like in a way where you are not allowing yourself to grow as an individual, as a person, okay, in your life, because that there in that pain there is a lesson. Okay, and you're not willing to face it or accept that lesson or accept that suffering, and ask yourself, okay, what is this situation trying to teach me, instead of running away from it. If you're not facing it, that's when it feels like you are stuck. No matter how busy you try to make yourself, how strong you act, or you act like you go around everyone, oh, I've already moved on, doesn't solve the problem. Okay, I'm telling you, it makes it only more bigger than it is. You you have to know that self acceptance is the first step of growth, and pattern recognition is also the first step of growth. So instead of thinking of that situation that you are stuck in, whether it's with a person, for me it's usually a person that I have loved very much and I cared a lot. Okay, so instead of seeing them as a person, see them as an energy. It will be much easier, and say that, okay, there is love, for example, in my energetic field. So now your mind, your brain sees that feeling, okay, is separate from your own body. It's not who you are. Because what happens is, why we can't face the truth, it's usually because we think that we are our emotions and we are our feelings, and most of the times that's not the case. We are not our emotions, we are not our feelings. That's not all we are about. That's not what defines us as a whole person, okay, as a whole being. We are more than that. Okay, so when you in neuroplasticity, you'll find this when you name and recognize a certain feeling, like for example as an energy or as a person. Okay, this is in my energetic field right now. You are actually telling your body that this feeling is not inside you, it's outside of you. And when something is outside of you, you can now come back to it and ask yourself this question. I was literally hearing one of the videos where a woman was talking about how to control and manage them effectively, so that you don't hold on to any of your emotions for too long. So one of the things she said that, now after saying that this emotion is there present in my energetic field, as I used for example, love is there in my energetic field. So is this emotion, now ask yourself, is this emotion coming from my ego or is it coming from my soul? And the person outside of me that is causing and triggering this feeling, when I express it, will that emotion get validated or will it, you know, not get validated as such, but just be expressed, you know, out of respect, not out of fear, but out of respect. Now, the first question, as I said, if your emotions, you just want them to get validated by someone else out of you, it's pretty much coming from your ego. But if you see like you just want to express out of self-respect, because you want, you're not asking the permission to feel your emotions or someone else to validate them. Removing that person's, you can say, leverage, person's permission to feel that way. You already know you are feeling a certain way that is valid. You're not asking for that validity of emotion. You're expressing your emotion to, maintain your self-respect and dignity in that situation, because that's what the soul aims for. The soul cares about authenticity. It cares about being seen for who you are truly, whereas the ego, it seeks, validation, to feel like that person understands or they like what you say. That's the thing. And most of the times the person may not always agree with what you say, or they may not validate you, but you really really need to practice this emotional, you can say, control and management, and how to deal with it, okay, effectively, by using this technique. I'm still going through it. I'm modifying this model, okay, wherever I have learned it from. But for now, that's all. These two questions are all you need to ask whenever there is any emotion that you're facing and you are using a joke. And if you are a person like me who used to joke about it, to avoid feeling that pain, kind of, or not accept that it was hard, you had to act strong at that point, okay, because of the context, social situation, dynamic that you are in. Now when you come back home, you can reflect on that, okay? So you stop acting out of fear or urgency, and you start acting out of self-respect and love. The soul seeks authentic expression, whereas the ego seeks validation to be liked by someone else outside of you, to be understood by someone else outside of you. So you choose your battles wisely and see which one you want to give you. That's all. I'm not going to elaborate further.